This is a critical reasoning question. The paragraph states that the royalties on the employees' inventions are taken away by the computer hardware manufacturing companies as their own. But in case employees write papers and articles on the subject of computer hardware structure development, they can retain the royalties and do not need to give these to the company. On the basis of these two statements, the author has drawn a conclusion that employees can retain the royalties from the educational computer hardware structure while still employed by the company, and they do not need to give it away to the company. Now there is a break in the logic. The question asks us to identify what is that assumption that makes this conclusion correct. What is an assumption that has been made by the author in order to reach the conclusion that is mentioned in the paragraph? Let us look at the options. Option A, royalties from inventions are higher than royalties from educational computer hardware structures. Even if it is correct, it still does not give us a reason why employees should retain the royalties from the educational computer hardware structure. The paragraph does not talk about higher royalties being retained or lower royalties being retained. So option A is incorrect. Option B, employees are more likely to create educational computer hardware than make inventions. Now again, there is no relation between the frequency of the royalties or the frequency of the product that is being created that attracts royalties to the fact that whether the royalties are being retained by the company or by the employees. So option B is also incorrect. Option C, inventions bring more name and repute to companies than do papers and articles. Again, option C talks of a trend which is not implied in the paragraph and hence is incorrect. Option D, in terms of the criteria used to award royalties, educational computer hardware structure development is more closely comparable to papers and articles than to inventions. This is definitely the correct answer because it states that employees are privileged to retain the royalties from any papers and articles, and hence they should retain the royalties from educational computer hardware structure. So definitely educational computer hardware structure is similar to the papers and articles that the employees write, and that is why they should retain the royalties on these things. And there is a major difference between the inventions and the educational computer hardware structure, and that is why the companies cannot take away the royalties of the employees based on the educational computer hardware structure. This is what is said in option D, and hence this is an assumption that is made by the author in order to conclude the argument. So option D is the correct answer to this question.